This is my inner ghost number template. I call it a template in standard numeration. What I mean by that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is how I numerize them. Standard numeration going around the cube. And this whole cube is a solution. I chose the standard numeration because it's easier to work with, easier to see the patterns in them. And this is the problem. And I'm studying just the inner ghost numbers at this spatial diagonal. It could be any diagonal, but I chose this one. And this is different from my last video because I used a 300, which is too hard to work with, or it doesn't give the patterns easy that I can see. And there's two ways to look at this solution and problem, two ways to look at the problem. The secondary numbers are double the primary numbers, and that's this case in every single magic ghost number cube. The secondary numbers, orange, is always going to be double the primary numbers at this angle. For instance, 2 is 9 goes in 18 two times. For the bottom secondary and primary numbers, 12 goes into 24 two times. And then if you add 18 and 24, 18 and 24 gives you 42. 9 and 12 gives you 21. Add it together gives you 63. The outer ghost numbers. And the next way you can look at it is the higher and lower proportions. And I screwed up here. I wasn't paying attention. And this is ink. So the proportions for at this angle, at this same angle, the higher proportions 24 and the lower proportions at this bottom angle 18. If you divide instead of, well, if you divide the lower secondary numbers into the higher secondary numbers, it's 1.333. Same thing with the primary numbers. These are secondary numbers, orange, primary numbers, blue, 1.333. And then at this angle, I believe, it's the same thing, 24, 18 goes in 24, 9 goes in 12. But at this angle, or at this angle, it's the same thing but reversed. So I did it reverse, and that's almost like that is a commutative thing to do. 24, 18 goes into 24, 1.333 times. 9 goes in 12, 1.333 times. And at this last angle, 12 for the higher secondary numbers goes into 30, 2.5 times. And for the higher primary numbers, it goes into the lower primary numbers at that angle. Higher primary number and lower primary number. 6 goes into 15, 2.5 times. So, and this is not the same for every magic ghost number cube. The secondary doubles the primary numbers in all magic ghost number cubes. But I've looked at other magic ghost number cubes, and these are not the same. There's different proportions, but those proportions are always the same for the higher and lower secondary and primary numbers of a certain cube. If you give them a numeration like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, is these proportions. So that's two ways that I know of to tackle this problem. And the problem here is to find first the primary numbers that naturally give the secondary numbers that exactly precisely equals 27. The same thing down here. What's left over of the primary numbers gives you secondary numbers. Natural secondary numbers that equals 36. Once you know that, you can fill out the rest of the cube. So that's what I'm aiming at. Knowing just the outer and central numbers, and having the problem of the 27 and the 36, the inner ghost numbers. You can derive the whole magic ghost number cube from just the inner ghost numbers, is what I believe. Conjecture, I guess. So this is my standard numeration inner ghost number template, and I'll work on other sheets until I figure out the problem of the rules for the inner ghost numbers, which is going to be hard to do. This is just a template, not a solution. There's a solution, there's a problem, but the problem to arrive at the solution is going to be what I'm going to tackle. Well, thanks a lot. Bye.